Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. I got him, you got him, we got him. Comic issues, yeah!
Everyone, welcome to Comic Issues episode 18. And guess what day it is?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
That's right, it's Wednesday. I had a personal embarrassment story I was going to share with you first about this issue here, but I went downstairs and the mail had came. So earlier in the month, I bought a mystery comic bag from AntiHero. It's called the Black Comic Pack, and they had a bunch of stuff in there, and it was $55. I think it ended up being $62 at the end, which is, I know, expensive, but I thought, wow, man, mystery stuff. So they send you $55 worth of comics, at least $55 worth of comics. So we're gonna test it out. So it came today. Here it is. Haven't opened it yet, so I'm gonna open it on cam and see if this thing was worth it. Here we go. Ugh. You have a chance of getting graded stuff, so let's hope for a graded issue. Get out the old switchblade, and let's just Gemini mailer. Nothing on here. Let's open this thing up. Hopefully we get something good. I think they were scheduled to do 2,000 of these out, and they cut it down to 1,000. So the chances were split in half of what you were going to get, be it something good. Oh, it doesn't feel like a graded. So another black bag. Feels like regular issues, so that's kind of disappointing, but we'll see what happens. Dang, I really don't want you to get to this. Number 489, I see. Oh, probably not much good stuff. There's many comics in here, so I don't have good feelings. I don't have good feelings about this. See what the first one is. Thor 11. I don't know if that's a special issue or not. We'll have to look that up. King in Black #1 variant edition. Got that one. Have no idea what this is. I'll have to look that up and see what it is. Ghost Rider Return of Vengeance variant edition. #1. Werewolf by Night #1 variant edition. And last, Maestro #1 variant edition. So, without looking everything up, I'm kind of disappointed. I don't really know. I don't think it might be worth it. I don't know. Probably not. But it was cool. Will I do it again? I might. I don't know. I think it's they don't do it very often, but if I do, I'll be sure to open it on here. Let's when I come back with the comic pool, I will get have a little more insight on what was in there. All right, let's get for the spin. Here we go, guys. Spin it up. Spinning. Here we go. Where's it gonna stop? Where's it gonna stop? R99 clearly wins it. R99. And I think that's a double week win. First time that's happened. But it happens. All right. We'll see you when I get the comic out. Be right back. Got the comic pulled. Got some info on the comics mystery comics. And as I expected or suspected, wasn't that great. I mean, I would have rather had comics that I was excited about and that weren't worth much than mediocre comics as far as value, and just comics that I'm not really thrilled about. But Maestro #1 is a Comic Kingdom Canada edition, and that's $16 face value from Comic Kingdom. That's about what it's going for on all eBay things that I'm seeing too. The Werewolf by Night is also a Comic Kingdom thing. Both of those, at least I like the covers of those. They're done by Lucio Perillo, so that's pretty cool. The Ghost Rider is just a regular old Stegman variant, $5. That's cover price. The one that I didn't know, that's Mirka Andolfo's Mercy, but it's #4, and it is a Virgin variant by Colette Turner, and it goes for about $20, and there's like 500 of them. It's limited to 500 print run. The King in Black is a U-connecting variant, cover price $6, and the Thor is the least, and that is Thor #11, $4. So I think to really give it a good rating, I'd have to do it one more time. 2 out of 3 kind of deal. But if the next ones were awesome comics, I think I would have a better rating system here. But for right now, on this one, I'd probably give this a C, and that's just because of the hope of getting great comics. So, yeah, that's where that's at. Let's open this comic, see what we got here. Ooh, nice. I really like these. I like when there's a mashup. This is a Spider-Boy team-up. So I think this is a Spider-Man and Superboy combined. And these are amalgam comics, and that's, they did it's when Marvel and DC came together, and they merged some of their well-known characters into certain stories. So this is going to be very cool, and you can definitely tell this is Spider-Man, because you can see the little Electro guy there from Spider-Man, and maybe the Wasp there. So yeah, I love these the Galactic Guardians. So we'll get it read and do our review. That was all right. That was an all right read. It has to do with time travel, and I'm not a big I don't really care for the time travel that much. But this was the writer was R.K. Sternzel, and the artist was Ladron, and it's R.K. Sternzel is there was 2 writers. They grouped up together, so they put their names together, and it's Roger Stern and Carl Kessel. Roger Stern has done Action Comics and Avengers and Incredible Hulk, and created a bunch of characters, most notably Hobgoblin and Nebula. Carl Kessel, he's done Superboy and Suicide Squad and a bunch of other things. Jose Ladron has done Cable, Elephant Man, Incredible Hulk, a bunch of different stuff too. He's not that prolific, but he did good art in this. I was happy with the art. So let's get into the story. And it starts, and it was there's a battle in the middle of the city, and what's his name? Spider Boy is fighting what looks like the Vulture, but it's not the Vulture. It is a guy named the Scavulture, but he looks just like the Vulture. He's shooting rays and cuts Spider-Man's, or I'm going to say that a million times, I know it, Spider-Boy's web, and Spider-Boy goes plummeting into an alley. He just falls and falls and falls, and he lands inside of a garbage bin on Suicide Street, of all places, right? And just happened to be a garbage bin there. And so he's jumping out of the garbage bin, and he's trying to find his web shooter. He can't find it anywhere, and the next thing he knows, somebody else has grabbed it. Some other kid has grabbed it, and he's running away with it. And he's trying to get him back. He's trying to race after him. And check out this kid. He looks like Chris Pine. And even his shirt looks like it has like a Star Trek symbol on the front of it. This comic is from 1997. So did it predict the future? I don't know, maybe. So while he's running after Chris Pine there, the Scavulture hits him from the back, slams him, knocks him to the ground, and he's like, the Spider Boy's like, hey, when I was made from the Cadmus, they should have gave me some kind of sense to know when these things are about to hit me, like some kind of radar sense, alluding to spider senses. Haha. And so the Scavulture is about to hit him with some laser beams, but when all of a sudden all time stops, and he is encased in like this big ice cube with this gold ball on top of it. What's going on here? And while all that's happening, we step away from the action for a minute, and we go to Worldwide Web Weddings Tower, I think is what it's called, the Web Weddings Tower. And I guess they do celebrity weddings there or something like that. So we got Dr. Octopus here, and he's talking to somebody. He's reading the paper and all that. And then there's a guy here talking on the phone to GJ instead of JJ, I'm sure. But he's talking about, this is going to be a huge wedding, and all of a sudden, in through the window comes this blazing, skier, I guess is what it is. Looks like a skier. So he's skiing in, and lo and behold, it's the Silver Racer. So instead of on a surfboard, he's on skis. You got it right. Look at that. It's pretty cool panel. It's got a little bit of the Jack Kirby dots and stuff on there. It's clearly supposed to be Silver Surfer. So we go back, and now we see what's happening to Superboy. He gets portaled through time to the year 2099. And there's a machine that's brought him through. And it's dropped him right into the seat of the Legion of the Galactic Guardians. And here's a panel of all of the members of the Legion of the Galactic Guardians. They have some really cool names. My favorite is either Star Charlie or Paste Eater Pete. Paste Eater Pete, guys. Yeah, pretty cool. He kind of looks like Robin here, but nope. So, he gets to saying, oh, this is very cool. It's cool being in the future. And this guy here, Martin X5, I don't know where these names came from, but I'm sure there's some kind of tie-in to the real people. It kind of looks like Destro from G.I. Joe. But, yeah, he's telling him, you only got 10 minutes here, so if you're here for longer than 10 minutes, the coronal something will start to collapse, and everything as we know it will cease to exist. And while he's telling him this, up through the floor busts this big monstrous robot guy. And it's the Frightful Five. So the Frightful Five come in. They're trying to destroy everything as usual. And he orders this guy to start destroying everything. The leader of them, and he ends up destroying the machine. So is Peter Ross going to get back? Peter Ross is Spider-Boy's alter ego. His name was Peter Parker, but in the Cadmium Project, or Cadmus Project, whatever it was, he got adopted by General Ross and got his name. So he's now Peter Ross. And his dad is, I guess, the Red Hulk. Is that who General Ross is? Something like that. And so now Martin X5 is like, wow, man, this took me so long to build. There's no way. We only got 5 minutes left to get this thing rebuilt. And Spider-Boy's like, yeah, but there's 2 of us now. So 2 of them's going to actually make a really big difference there. No, it's not. So time stops again, and somebody jumps in behind him. It looks like Moon Knight. And, they don't see him. All the other people don't see him. They start moving around again. They're like, we don't see anybody, and it's a temporal rift. There's, things are merging now, so the universe is falling apart. So in comes this creepy dude. Come with me if you want to live. The old Terminator line. He even kind of looks like Terminator. He's coming and trying to get him. And he's like, no. But he's like, well, what else am I going to do? We got to do this. So he pulls him through another one of those ice cube things into 5 years into the future. And everything's just destroyed. There's another group of people here. They have no idea who they are. They don't want to know who they are. They can't figure out who they are. So they're just living in a dump, looking for a leader. Spider-Boy doesn't want any part of this. So he's like, I'm out. I'm jumping back through the cube. Goes back through the cube. And he ends up right in the same place he just came from. But back at the same time that when he originally came from, in the machine with the Legion of the Galactic Guardians again. And here they are again. They all look different. They have different names, so something's changed. And they're getting ready to vote on the leader again. That's what they were doing before when I showed you that panel with all the different people around. That was all their choices. So here it is again. The same panel, but different, right? Now you see that all their names changed, and my 2 favorite guys are not on here anymore. Pace Eater Pete, not on there. So, yeah, it sucks. But, so they tell him that they bring him back to help them start this projector. They want to watch a movie or something like that. They got to get this projector rolling. But the projectors are like 100 years old, so they don't even know how to work it. And he's like, okay, well, did you try plugging it in? They're like, what are you talking about plugging it in? He's like, yeah, it runs on 220 AC. You got to plug this thing in. So he picks up the plug, and they're like, we don't plug anything in anymore. Everything runs on, like, cosmic rays. It's like, you got a big problem, a big problem. So what happens? The electric guy just picks up the end, completes the circuit, powers the thing up. And he saves the day. They're happy. And they teleport him back to the first time that we've seen Spider-Boy, where he gets taken out of time. And this time we see him jumping out of the way of the laser. He's not dying because he knew enough ahead of time to be able to make that jump. And while the Scab Ultra is trying to get him again, he gets nailed in the face by a spiderweb. That's it. The boy has came back to help. He's shot him right in the face, webbed him. Right in the face. A spiderwebby girl. So he pulls the webbing off of his face, and he turns his gaze towards the new kid. And he hits him with some kind of gun that poisons him. And so he's on the ground. Spider-Boy is trying to attack him. Not to get on the ground, but the Scav Vulture. And here comes the Yancey Legion, which happens to be the Legion of Galactic Guardians 2099, but 100 years in the past from when we first originally seen them. So they all start fighting the Scav Vulture, and they come over, and Spider-Boy's there trying to help the kid. It's like, man, we got to get him somewhere. We got to get him to this area where we can help him. And but I'm not fast enough. I can't get there fast enough. So they give him this ring, the anti-grav ring, which he just has to look in a direction and he'll instantly fly there. So they end up in the Adirondacks at the Fantastic Mountain. So this is, instead of the Fantastic Four headquarters, this is the Fantastic Mountain. And there's the machine that's going to help the boy. Professor Fantastic is not there. Professor Richards is not there. So they have to, the only thing that they can do is send this kid to the Phantom Negative Zone until, something can be done with him. So they're kind of putting him on ice, right? And while they're doing that, time stops again, and in pops a Kang the Time Conqueror, and he comes to get Spider-Boy again. And just as he's ripping Spider-Boy apart, the amalgam, which here you can see it was Spider-Man and Spider-Boy or Superboy. This is my panel pick, by the way, because it's really awesome looking. I love how that looks. The cube comes back, and out pops another Spider-Man. Is this Spider-Man 2099? I would think so. Future Spider-Boy, it says. So he stops him before he can do it and puts them back together. So in this whole process, they end up knocking off the bad guy's helmet, like in the old Scooby-Doo's, and they want to figure out who he is. And it ends up it's Kronos Tut, the Time Pharaoh. And he's got a face only a mother can love. And he does the old line, don't talk about my mother, she's a saint. And here you go. He's mad because without the helmet, he can't control the temporal rift, or the time rift, or whatever he's created there to bring Spider-Boy into, so that he can exact his revenge. And he starts exploding like Apocalypse. I think that was Apocalypse that happened too. And it ends up, so they jump back in the portal, and they end up going back to Spider-Boy's time, and it ends up it's Miguel Gand, which is that boy's name was Miguel Gand, and he is Spider-Boy 2099, not Spider-Man 2099. So he was trapped for a year, or for 100 years. And so in the future, he is set free, and spider DNA serum that Spider-Boy creates helps to bring him back. So now everybody steps into the cube, and they all go back to their right timelines, and everybody's happy, and that's it. The next issue says it's going to be full of celebrities for the wedding of the year. So I give that comic probably a C plus, something like that. The art was pretty good. The story was kind of cheesy. I really just, as soon as I seen it was time travel, it was kind of it kind of took it down a point for me. There's a lot more of these amalgam comics, so if you'd like to check them out, go ahead. I have a bunch of them, but they may come up, they may not. Who knows? Might get one next week or next episode, the way this goes. But go ahead and drop your comment episode down below. We'll put it on the wheel. We will select and do the review. And next episode, I'll tell you about that embarrassing story. Subscribe and like. See you guys.